They tried to stick me for my paper. Hey everyone, what's happening? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. I am taking a little break, sitting outside getting a little sun. I'm not out in the sun as I should be, but just taking a little break. Taking a little roll around the corner. I just wanted to share a funny experience. Oh, let me my glasses off. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I just wanted to share a funny experience. So as I had mentioned in a previous video, I am job searching, and yes, I'm putting this out there. I'm searching for work in addition to and outside of my current position. So before y'all, whistleblowers get to going, get your facts straight. It has nothing, it's not on company time, and it's not going to interfere with company time. So that being said, I'm looking for another position and just preparation for the future. So I'm looking for something part-time, during my off hours. Anyway, so I'm back in the job searching arena. And now understand ye, I haven't had to search for a private sector job in almost 20 years. And that's a blessing. I'm not knocking that blessing at all. I'm not knocking that. And I'm very grateful for my time in federal service. Very grateful. And but anyway, it's just been a long time that I've had to look for private sector work. And not intimidated by it or anything. Just I know, and I've heard from friends and other people how challenging and difficult it can be. And it is, searching for a job is a job in itself. I mean, it is literally a job, okay, in itself. I mean, I would say you have to dedicate maybe 4 hours. No, let me back that up. I would say it just depends on the volume that you're putting in and what you're, of course, putting in for. I would say that, a couple of hours for maybe 4 or 5 good positions. Positions, when I say good positions, I mean positions that you're really well qualified for and that's very comparable to what you're looking for, and all around salary, location, daily duties, all of that. It just takes time. I'm a Gen Xer, pushing 50, and, I'm from back in the day where we used to walk applications into the establishment, or, just go and sit down and fill out an application. Gone are those days. Actually, some entities still prefer it that way, but anyway, not I'm applying for. So, everything's submitted online or whatever. And, so there's already the frustration of, here's a job announcement. I hate when they don't tell you the salary or whatever, but that's always going to be negotiable in most cases anyway. But what is it? Oh, so where they're like, okay, submit your resume. Back in the day, that you wasn't attaching nothing. It was just fill out this long ass application online. I'm really dating myself. When the inner of the net first came out. But now, as everyone knows, it's evolved to, attach your resume. And, 9 times out of 10, you attach your great resume. And then you still have to go back and line item enter each thing on your resume. And they never make it easy. It's not in like one block where you can copy and paste position, location, dates of employment, and your duties. They got a damn block for each, so you gotta go. Y'all know what I'm saying. So there's that. And, just going through that alone for a basic job per entry could take on the non-quick apply jobs, could take anywhere from like 10 minutes to 30 minutes. And that's just on one single job, and that's just getting everything, your requirement. And of course, the more credentials you got, the longer it's going to be that you have to have all attached. But anyway, I've gotten good. This is not my complaint. This is not what the video is about. I've gotten good at, pretty much getting in my form and going through, pick and choosing what I'm going to apply for and how much time I'm going to invest in it. So anyway, the funny story is, so like I said, it's been a long time. So I'm getting back into the, the routine, the exercise, and the process of applying for jobs. So I applied for this job. And now y'all gonna laugh at me because I'm an old head with street smarts. Okay, so I got common sense, but you know, I got a lot going on. So while I'm looking for jobs, my flags are up. I mean, my indicators are up, but I'm not gonna catch everything. I just got too much going on, and trying to sit down and apply, Anyway, so I applied for this job. I got a response, and a side note, I had applied for several other jobs that you can tell. Okay, let me go back. A huge issue with job applying now, secondary issue, is that ghost jobs. I mean, there's just tons of them. They just have all these companies listing these jobs that aren't really available. They're just trying to draw people into their website or, their thing for whatever, to either in turn sell you something, get you on their marketing list, all this kind of stuff, all this kind of shit that is cruel and unusual punishment inflicted upon people who are generally looking to work. So there's that, the ghost jobs and all that. But going back, so I had applied for this job. I got a response. They called me to interview. They called me, y'all. They called me, okay, to interview. That's a good thing, not the fill out a test, go to this website, none of that. So everything looked on, they called me for an interview. Okay. So I was like, okay, this is cool. This is something I'm really interested in, aligns with my skill set, and something that I really want to do. Is remote, is part-time, flexible hours, whoop-de-woo. And so they called me, and I had the interview. Now this was it's a U.S. It presented as a U.S. Canadian based company, and they also have other locations in other parts of the world. Because I was go do your research before you interview with people, to find out, who you got to backtrack and see what the hell job did I apply for, and what is this company. Sometimes when you got a lot of other things going on. I turn this air on. It's hot up the hill. I would roll the window down, but I don't know nobody. Anyway, so I went, looked up the job that I applied for, did the research. I went to Glassdoor, found out what other people are saying. It's not always going to be good. It's not always going to be bad, but at least like to have an indication. It also gives you an indication if it's a valid company, so before you don't want to invest any time. And so anyway, I did all that and everything seemed good. They had some good reviews. They had some bad reviews, but they had more good reviews. Overall, they had more. And I went to the company website, did all the research, looked at the history, even looked at the stock numbers. Okay, we can go ahead and I'll be ready for this interview. So I had the interview. The lady that I spoke with obviously was probably sitting in Canada because she had that accent or whatever that they had. She didn't have the Nigerian or the, Hindu or whatever. Okay, let me stop because that's racist. But it's not racist, but you know what I'm saying. She had a Canadian or Montreal or French or whatever accent. So I'm like, okay, nothing wrong with that. I don't care where you're from, because I'm open to worldwide companies. It wasn't that. It's just, it had kind of hard to understand her, but it wasn't, her English was her second language. French was probably her first. So it was that accent, which, further let me know. Okay. Reminded me that this company's in Canada, whatever. So anyway, we had the interview. They asking me general, KPI, performance-based questions, tell me, the general, tell me about yourself and why are you interested in position? What is your background, your skill set? What do you bring? How does it align with this position and its responsibilities? This whole ran through the job, duties and all that before I even ask, because I usually ask it at the end, what's the typical day like in this position? They usually just kick back what's on the PD, which I hate. Tell me what a damn day is like. So, so I know what I'm going to be dealing with. Anyway, I digress. So she's asking, performance-based, interview questions and things. Stuff that, it's a legitimate interview. I was ready for it. I killed, and all of that. But I was like, okay, this is cool, So, it's a remote position, okay? And so I like, okay, is it bring your own equipment, or are you guys going to provide the equipment? I'm really looking for a remote position where I can bring my own equipment. So in case I want to, if I want to work, so, but if you're going to send me the equipment, that's fine. So she's like, we're going to send you the equipment and everything. I'm like, okay. So this was after, my follow-up questions. What are the hours? Because that wasn't stated, what are the hours and days that I'm expected to report, why is the position vacant, and all this kind of stuff. And then, how are you going to give me this, how is this equipment going to get to me? So everything sounds on the up and up. Interview went fine. I didn't really have any questions, except a few follow-ups that I sent, after the fact, because I put some vacation time in, down the line, and in case they wanted me to start, I wanted to make sure, so anyway, good interview. And she's like, we're pretty quick with our hiring process, so we're gonna you should probably hear something within 24 to 48 hours. I'm like, okay, that didn't you usually don't hear back unless you selling something or it's a scammy something. You typically don't hear back, or unless you like a hot commodity, like a doctor or an attorney or engineer or something where they need to get your ass in there tomorrow, or it's just a bad company. Usually don't typically hear back within 24 to 48 hours. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I got a response probably within a day and a half later. Offer letter. Okay, this, in my busy ness, I didn't think, I got the offer letter, 4 pages of an offer letter. Okay. They didn't ask for NAN, reference, NAN, supervisor reference, or personal, didn't occur to me. I was just in the moment when I got that offer letter, I was so busy, and I was like, oh, okay, 4 pages. It details what the position is doing. It talks about, benefits and all this, and salary and all that. The salary was a little higher than proposed. Why my camera go dark? Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. I think my phone was sitting in the sun, and I think it got hot. I hope it's still working. Let me test to make sure. Okay. Well, hopefully it's working, because I don't want to remember. So anyway, where was I at? Got the offer letter, and like I said, 4 pages. It, looked very well crafted and put together and all that. And like I said, at this point, I was a little less. No, I was still a little busy. So I was like, oh, okay, let me print this off and look at it later. I read it later, but didn't think at that point, they ain't asked for NAN reference, NAN personal reference, NAN business reference, nothing before I got an offer letter. The last time I had that happen to me was probably in the late 90s, when they would just hire you off of, that doesn't really happen anymore unless it's scamish or they got a high ass turnover rate. Anyway, but I just didn't think, I'm like, it's kind of somewhat of a little bit unique position, and I just interviewed well and all of that. So, didn't think nothing about that. They ain't sent no form. Well, this is, so I signed the offer letter and sent it back. And, let me just restate in case I got any whistleblowers or coworkers in the audience. This was for a position, outside of my current position, outside of office hours. Okay. There's no Hatch Act violations and nothing going on over here. Anyway, and that's not even Hatch Act, so I'm sorry. So I sent the offer. I returned the offer letter, and like I said, didn't get NAN. Usually after then you get the physical paperwork so they can onboard you. So it might be another occurrence of an application. Okay, this person, don't come backing up. Somebody just drove by. I'm sorry, now they backing up. Okay, he's turning. All right. Gotta be careful. So anyway, what was I saying? So I didn't get any application, no onboarding paperwork or anything like that. What I got next was, and again, just it didn't, it didn't really start to set, because it's just, I'm not really clearly, this isn't as important as other people who are desperately looking for a position because they don't have nothing right now. So just stay with me that I'm in that mindset, because I got sense, and I got common sense, but I just didn't have no insta sense in that moment. So, okay. So what else happens? So yeah, no onboarding, just, they did say have a date, on a projected date when they wanted you to start. The rush was, I'm sorry, people keep driving by. The rush was that we need to get you set up so we can get your home office set up. We need to get that set up, right? So you can see where this is. You can see where this is going, okay? So they sent me, okay, so here, we want you to sign into this portal. Now that's common, that's where I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna sign into this portal, and then, because that's typical now, you sign into the onboarding portal and you get started with all that, that paperwork and all that. So I went into the portal. I just filled out a simple registration in terms of to have, just like you're going to sign up to have access to a site. I didn't know, they didn't ask for no social security, none of that initially, just my name and my address, and that was it. So no Insta sense is there, so no red flags, because they're not asking for anything that you can't Google and get on me right now. And so I went ahead. So after I got my account set up, so they gave me an IT contact, because you need to start with this IT contact to get your computer, so we can get that to you to get you started. Still didn't click. Oh, did I ask? I think one of my follow-up questions from the interview is, and I don't know if I already said this because my phone cut earlier, was, am I on the hook for anything? Do I have to pay for anything? Because if I got to pay for something, I already know. Boop, boop, boop. And she was like, I asked her in the interview, and she said, no, we're going to take care of all this for you. And then I asked follow-up in a follow-up email. No, we're going to take care of all this again. Here comes this truck again. Anyway, so let's see. So so I'm in this portal. I'm chatting with the IT guy. Now, here's the third instance that I totally missed. So they sent me the name. I'm signed on. I reached out to the IT guy. This is in the evening, okay? This ain't during business hours. Reached out to this IT guy. Why he respond like within 5 seconds or so, maybe not 5 seconds, but within minutes of me reaching out to him. Okay. That, automatically, is this a bot? At that moment, I didn't think, is this a bot? I'm just thinking, okay, man, this person after hours, whatever. Again, my mind was not on scam mode. I'm just like, so he responded, and then, it seemed, all of you have had a bot conversation, whether you knew you was having one initially or not. So you know what that is. And so, it's kind of a little back and forth, how it didn't seem bottish. But today, they got these AI bots set up. You be thinking it's your dead grandmama that you chatting with. That's how good the shit is now on those bots from the damn grave. That's how good they are. So you got to be careful, protect yourself, people, from everything. Cause anyway, I digress. So I'm having this conversation. And he's like, okay, we want to get you set up. Okay. And I'm like, okay, first we want to get your profile picture set up on here. And I'm like, why do I need a picture? He didn't say I had to do my picture, but he said you need a picture up on your, the little profile picture, like in Teams, if so I guess the little default wasn't good enough. So I put up some random picture, not of myself, but just a random picture. And he's like, okay, I can see it. That's fine. And then he's like, oh, so now let's go on to, we need to take the next steps to get your computer. And this is when I knew. What is that they say on, it was at that moment she knew she done fucked up. So after that, I got, so he's, the little three dots, he's typing, and then bam, like this big ass canned response, like a paragraph came out, and it's like, okay, this is what we're gonna do to get you your computer, and whoop-de-woo, and this is how we doing whoop-de-woo, and then, I'm scanning, and it's like, So what we're going to need you to do is go to our partner company and put in this payment code or whatever, or this code, because, and ultimately you order the computer and put this payment code in so that we can ensure that, you know, that you're reimbursed. I was like, damn, I couldn't do nothing but laugh out loud at that moment. Because, you know, it just all clicked and it was just funny. But you guys, I mean, it's something else that I'm leaving out. But my point is, I've been scammed before. When I was in my 20s, I think I sent some money to some debt collection agency who promised to wipe That's the only one y'all getting. I did that. I was in my 20s and I did that. But that's probably the last time, you know, that I've been scammed on a major level. And that was like, I think $100 back then in the 90s. Since then, if I was ever scammed, it was more than more than 20 bucks. Anyway, so, and the funny thing is, I had talked to my sister's father, because he was looking for he's a retired surgeon, and he was just looking for work. Like a year ago, he asked me, he was like, he had the same thing happen to him, but his was the more traditional scam, you know, type, where off the break, they just like, we want to give you this job, but, you know, we need you to send us, PayPal us this money so we can. I said, I mean, don't be, listen, I know you 100, but don't be sending no money. It sounds good, but that ain't the break. Like I said, they getting deep with these scams. So yeah, I mean, interview, maybe this isn't common for me. Like I said, I haven't looked for a job in private sector in almost 20 years, but a full-blown interview, performance-based interview, and then, you know, a 4-page detailed offer letter, and then sign into the portal so we can start, only to have a 5-minute conversation with, whomever was on the other end, the bot, to try to get me to order a computer. And so, you know, his last message was like, okay, please kindly, that's the fourth one they used kindly. Okay. Whenever somebody says kindly, and I know this company is, Canada based. And so there will be variations of grammar and everything, but kindly, that's a Nigerian Ponzi scheme right there. Anyway, yeah, so it was like, that was the last message. He said, kindly, please, let me know once this is done. And I was like, okay, sure. Logged off, turn that crap off, cleared my cache, did all of that, to get whatever they were starting off of my computer. I'm sure there's something else I was missing, that while I was kind of taken aback. But yeah, the portal, it had a whole introductory video, welcome to the team. It's just a lot to try to get some money out of somebody that is desperate for a job. So it's funny. I can laugh at it because I can laugh at myself, and I didn't go no further. But I feel sorry for people who, and I might be in this bucket soon, but who really, are out here in these job searching streets and getting the hopes up all high and stuff and just trying to work. And then you got to sift through all this in addition to the man hours that you have to dedicate for looking for a job. It's crazy. It's funny to me. It's unfortunate, and I hope that somebody can laugh at this, obviously, and then take the gem away who might be searching for a job, just to be, on 20 in your job search and just scrub everything. It's like extra work. All I'm trying to do is find a job, but I have to be, I have to investigate my job interests as well. I deeply investigate. But anyway, I talked more than I wanted to, but I just thought it was very funny, and I hope I don't have that again. The good old days. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't come up in the 80s and 90s, you missed out. Those were the best times, the 80s and the 90s. Shit wasn't this hard. It wasn't as difficult. Okay, y'all have a good day. Oh, don't forget to like, don't forget to like and subscribe, please, as I'm trying to build up my base. And stay tuned, because you will want to stay tuned and be subscribed, because in the future, see these lines, read between them. In the future, you know, when things change, as things change, and I'm more of a woman, thou art loosed, I'll have a lot more to say than I can say at this point. So subscribe, stay tuned, and have a great day.